Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Success Stories of Black, Brown, and White People series. Around the world, we have some amazing, successful people, and it is our job to bring them to you one at a time from far and near to inspire us all. Here with us today is the amazing, phenomenal, talented comedian. His name, hopefully I don't butcher his name. His name is Michael Jentzsch. Am I right?
Yeah. You try well. Michael Jentzsch.
Michael Jentzsch, thank you. AKA GGG. It's a Giant German Gina.
There you go.
He's originally from Germany, but Liberia has adopted him. So he's our own. Because I'm from Liberia. It's so lovely having you on the show here today. Thank you for being with us. How are you, Mr. GGG?
I'm great, and I say hello to everybody watching. I look forward to a fun time together. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. It's so great having you here. So, what's with the name? I mean, it's so creative. Why did you choose the name?
Okay, I think I was 12 years old when I got that name. I'm 6'6", so I'm a real giant. That's the first name. I'm German, and that's the second name. And then how do they get the Gina? Now, Liberian people know what a Gina is. It's a mythical being. It's like a dwarf. In Liberia, we say dwarf. Dwarf. In American English, you will say dwarf. It's a little hairy being that's very powerful. And I got the name because I was very powerful on the basketball court. With my height, I was killing the Liberian boys. And I was scoring all over the place. And one Peking said, "This man a Gina. We can't stop that man." And so then I picked it up. It was better than Michael Jentzsch. Nobody can spell my name. So when I became successful on Facebook, 2016, people said, "Man, you got to give us a normal name. We can't spell Jentzsch." So I just remembered that childhood name, the nickname I'd got, and then I just shortened it to GGG. And people loved it and just picked it up. But I like to associate it also, the other meaning for Gina is genie, the genie out of the bottle that can fulfill your wishes. I like that one a little bit more than the menacing little dwarf.
Wow, so creative. I love your creativity in choosing such unique name, for your
a lot of Liberians can laugh when they hear that one. They say, "What? I didn't make it quite that Gina," but it's funny.
Right. You're coming for the kill, right? We're all about
and that's the first lesson I can give you guys. Be yourself. Just be yourself. I'm a German. Nobody in Germany understands Liberian English, and nobody knew what Gina is. And I still did it, and it's fun, and people picked it up. So be yourself.
That is such a great... See, we haven't even started. He's already dropping. See?
We're coming lecture today.
He's full of wisdom. I'm so excited for us to continue this conversation. So you've told us a little bit about yourself. In your mind, who is a successful person?
Somebody who touches other people's lives in a positive way, period. And it's not about the money. It's never been about the money with me, with this comedy thing. And when I talk to other successful comedians and people who really love what they're doing, it's about loving what you're doing, being your true self, and making other people happy in some form. Be of service to the community. And once you do that, once by giving, you'll receive more. After I came back from the tour in Philadelphia last week, I posted my gratitude on Facebook, and I thanked my fans. And I said, you guys showered me with love. And one fan wrote underneath in the comments, and she said, "You only get back what you give." And I was amazed by that. So give and ye shall receive, the old Bible saying.
Simple, straight to the point, right? Wow, that's so touching. And
and don't, and a lot of people always expect, give me money, help me with 5,000 so I can start my business and all this thing. I started this thing with my phone in my living room right here. That's where I started this whole thing. And now it's taking me places. I was in New York in the Hamptons performing for the president's family last week.
It's incredible.
And that's just amazing. I cried tears of joy when I finished that show.
Drum roll for you.
Thank you.
See, that's why I call you what, our international celebrity, right? You're representing
I never thought that spider stories and jokes would bring me to such kings and queens. Never. And the Bible says if you have a talent and you utilize it well, it will bring you before kings and queens. And it happened. It happened.
It sure does, because this is such a great craft and a great field that you find yourself in, because at this point in time, the world, we're all facing so much. We're all suffering in one way or the other. So to have comedy, for me, a lot of times when I'm being interviewed, people ask me, wow, when I tell them a little bit of my background from Liberia with the war and everything, how have you kept on? How have you survived? And one way obviously is through prayer, through my relationship with God. And the next thing, music, comedy, music. Comedy is just such a great craft. So I'm just, I used to watch.
Listen, I underestimated the power too. I never thought it would impact people's lives like that. And during COVID, I myself was suffering, and I didn't have energy to do a lot of joking and stuff. But I kept doing it nonetheless with discipline. And when I meet my fans now on my tours, so many people come up to me and say, do you know that you saved my life during COVID? I always used to watch your comedy and you washed away my sadness. And I started crying when I hear that, because I just have fun. My wife gives me crazy, we both laugh and have crazy ideas, and we're like, hey, we could film this. And she's my camera woman. Baby, can show you a set, man. She don't want to see you, man. She always shy, man, but she's eating her dinner here. And every time I take her on tour, people love her, and she's so humble. Can show you a face one time, man. Let people applaud you too. We are two in this team. And,
Two in one.
And when two people work together, teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
See you.
Hey,
hello, beautiful. So nice to meet you. Thank you for all the great work. We're proud of you as well.
Yeah, thank you too. And many great things.
She's the one who always films me and supports me and gives me crazy ideas how we can improve the little joke and all these things. So all the praise goes to her too.
Well, what does the Bible say? He who finds a wife finds a good thing. She's right behind you. There we go.
That is there.
A great thing, right? Thank you so much.
And once the Bible also says, we quote this also Bible here, but it's a word of wisdom. It says, what will you gain from the whole world if you can't lay it at the feet of someone? And one of my proudest moments was when we came back from the Hamptons and we were sitting in a restaurant, and I turn around and I see my wife staring at me full of pride, just like when we met with 17. And I look at her, I started laughing. She said, you caught me looking at you till I was 17. I said, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that backstory. That's amazing, to show that no man is an island, right?
No, we are not. And I don't claim the praise for myself.
You're so humble. I mean, y'all listening? Because he already started dropping gems, and he's dropping a lot of tea. Are you guys listening? Because we
the lecture thick today.
It's too thick. Y'all listen. All right. So what is it about Liberia? Why Liberia? If you can just spend a few minutes just to backtrack and into your younger days, where you started the love and everything for Liberia.
My parents are missionaries, and so they always had a heart for Africa. And the first 6 years of my life, I grew up in the Sahara, far away from Liberia, in Niger, next to Niger. And I grew up among the Fula people, and I spoke Hausa. Inagajia, Lafialo. And so as a little boy, I spoke Hausa fluently. The people said the man is a Hausa man. So apparently I had that linguistic ability as a child. Then we left Niger, and when I was 8, my parents went to Liberia, and I couldn't speak a word of English. One funny story, when I came there, to learn Liberian English, Hey, not small flocking I will be getting from those Liberian boys. When you don't understand now, you say yes or no, and they getting you, they will make fun out of you, they will jab you good, and they will give you a flocking. So I got used to my flocking now. One man came to me and said, "Where your knee?" I said, eh? He said, "Where your knee?" I said, my knee is down here on my foot. He said, "You stupid, eh? My knee, George. Where your knee?" I said, eh. Let me bend down and get ready for next blocking again. And then he said, "My name." And you see how hard Liberian English is. So now that small blocking, I pick up quick to learn that thing quick. And then I really loved it. Liberia, I mean, Atlantic Ocean right in front of the door. I grew up on the radio ERWA station, the biggest Christian radio station of Africa in Liberia. And I grew up with a Gio friend. He was from the Gio tribe. His name was Ben. And Ben lived in a village close to me, and he used to invite me to eat and swallow GB. I almost died one night to swallow that thing when I eat it. You know, Gio man, it's like big nut. So one day I almost killed myself trying to swallow that beating. But anyway, I survived. And then I was invited to storytelling nights. And I was lucky to be sitting at the knee of one of the storytellers. And I learned about spider and leopard and turtle. As a little boy, I never thought that thing would be of importance, not knowing that I was going to be one of the last witnesses of the ancient art of storytelling as a white man. And the Liberian children, they just didn't listen too much to it because it was normal things for them. But as I was a guest, I was always highly attentive. So I remember all those stories. And then when I was 15, the war came, 1990 war. Charles Taylor King, we rebel. And Ben came to me as a Gio boy, and he said, "As a Gio, I'm screwed. I will either be killed by the Crown soldiers or they will recruit me as a rebel." So that was a very traumatic last question and last meeting we had. And then I was evacuated from Liberia. I went to Ivory Coast, and then I came to Germany as a refugee in my own country. I couldn't speak any German anymore. And now I was a white man, and I felt like a black man in my own country. And people said, "My man, go back to the bush, man. That bush you're always talking about, just go back to your bush." I said, "I want to go back to my bush, but I war there." So I was always jumping between cultures. And I spoke to mirrors back then, not to lose my Liberian English, because there were no Liberians in my city here in Germany. Now, you know, with the world opening up, we have Liberians in every city. So it's a lot easier. But back then there was no internet. I had to look for my friend by post and mail and post it, real mail, you know, that took 6 weeks. And you know, in the wartime, everything was chakla, no way to find anybody. But I found him in a miraculous bounty hunt. I put $700 on his head and I found my best friend. And that is another story.
Real determination right there.
Yeah. So never give up on your dreams. And you know what? One thing that I learned, the German people, they said you can't have two identities in your chest. Back in the days, in the 90s, people say you got to be one nationality. And I said, wow, I love Liberia. Why do I have to be German man? It's too boring. And they said, no, you'll go crazy if you have two nationalities in your chest. And I made it work. So don't listen to everything that your elders tell you.
So are you trying to tell us to be a rebel?
A rebel for your cause. A rebel for your cause.
I love that. Be a rebel for your cause, a good cause.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because so many people told me to stop this comedy thing. I'm a politician on this side too. I can be very serious. I'm in the city council for my city. And I have $1 million decisions that I have to vote on. And these people, they look at me and they say, "My man, what kind of stupidness you doing on Facebook again?" And I say, "You don't mind that one, that different man there."
Right. I side hustle. Wow.
I'm a side hustle, yeah.
You are just amazing. You're just amazing, honestly.
No, just try everything, you know, just be willing to try out everything, you know.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you told us a little bit of your success story. You've told us a little bit of your struggle. So I just saw the book you showed, Blood Brothers. Is it on Amazon? I tried searching for it, but I could not find it.
Yeah, it's hard. Usually you can just order it from my page. Just write me on Facebook. I'll sign it for you at $10. And I have two books. I have Blood Brothers, and I have Ancient Liberian Animal Stories, which you can find as a Kindle version. This is a collection of all the Liberian stories that I do at my shows and storytelling nights. You know, for example, dog story, Spada story, how Spada got a tiny waist, with storytelling tips and Liberian English guide, because I love teaching people how to storytell. It's the ancient art of passing on knowledge in Africa, and it's dying out.
It is.
So let me give you one tip. You're going to class today. When a storyteller opens up his storytelling night, he will always say a word twice. It's the shout and response, call and response. So the storyteller, to gain the attention of the crowd, will say, story, story.
Story.
Fine, you know. Joke, joke.
Joke.
Once upon a time.
Time.
You see? So you passed level 1.
Thank
so
you.
Ready for the story now. So these are the basics that I teach my listeners, you know, that they just know Liberian culture, how to start a story, and then how to do the body language and how to gain the attention of your listeners.
Well, I mean, it's needed to retain the culture, because a lot of us left when we're so little, you know. And
you know, this is why I started GGG. 2015, I didn't know that there was potential in this thing. And I went to visit my friends, my Liberian friends, and I think it was Denver, Colorado, right? I think Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We went to visit our friends in Colorado, and we went for free lodging and free food, and, you know, to save hotel. We went to visit all Liberian people. So I had to spend time with their children, and I talked to their children, and all their children were just talking Cree, you know, just talking American English. And I said, oh, do you know Mr. Spider? They said, yeah, we know Spider-Man and Superman. I said, no, this is not the Spider I'm talking about. And I noticed that first of all, they hated koloqua. They gave up speaking koloqua because their parents told them it's a form of low education. It's a sign of not being educated. We want you to speak American English. And they didn't know anything about the animal stories of Liberian heritage. And I jacked, and I said, wait, now y'all don't know these beautiful parables of animals and the morals inside? They said, no, nobody ever told us these things. And so I started telling them these animal stories at dinner. And everybody was just awed. They were like, what? White man know this story? My grandfather told me this story. You're bringing me back. I said, oh, for true? And maybe I can tell you how I became the GGG. 2016, one of my friends on Facebook, he was campaigning for some Liberian organization in Atlanta. And he said, my brother, can you please make a little joke in Liberian English, because you're famous in Europe with your book. Blood Brothers was a best-selling book. It was on position 25 of the German best-selling list.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I was doing book shows in schools, churches, universities, everywhere. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf herself, she gave me an award for that. And so I was just doing the book thing, and he said, please make a joke in Liberian English, because I don't know any white man who speaks Liberian English clear like you. I said, but Facebook, isn't that just for cat videos? He said, no, politics is there too. Just do a little joke and put my name inside the story. And that's when I told an animal story, and I put him as the hero inside the elephant, you know, and that shit went viral. 120,000 people watched it in 3 hours. And I was like, what is going on?
That's incredible.
And then bloggers were writing me, the president, Timothy Weah himself, a lot of prominent people, you know, all these politicians were writing me, who are you? It's a computer. You're scamming us. You're just lying. Do another one. Do another one. No white man can talk like that. I said, oh. So I did another one, 70,000 views. And it just kept going, you know. And so they said, well, you need to make a public page. We want to follow you. I didn't know anything how to do this, you know. 6 months later, I was on my first comedy tour in New York.
Wow.
So that is great. And I just stumbled into this. And now I'm training my craft. I'm getting ready for the big show.
Wow. It's just amazing to see all that you've done from back in the day. I know I used to watch you a couple of years ago on YouTube. You had your YouTube channel now. You know, you're still thriving on Instagram, the reels, and you're just keeping up to date and just, they say laughter is a cure. It's a medicine to the soul. So your craft is very much needed. And I just want to tell you thank you, because we watch your craft, we laugh, we forget about our problems, and you're
Thank
just
you.
doing a phenomenal work within all of us. So we
Thank
just
you. And I just want to tell my listeners, thank you so much for taking me into the Liberian family. I was very afraid. There were times when I was attacked as a culture vulture, as political appropriationist, trying to steal people's culture. And I said, listen, that's not my intention. My intention is to promote Liberian storytelling and culture and jokes and comedy, because Liberian humor is different to German humor, and it's different to American comedy. And I just love that Liberian comedy more than the American comedy. I don't do stand-up comedy for Americans. It's not my style, I don't feel at home in that. And the Liberian community has unconditionally embraced me. I just want to say thank you. I never experienced racism in any form. And I have to say, in my whole life as a missionary kid, I never experienced racism. In all those years, I was always warmly welcomed by every culture in Africa that I visited.
aside from the small flocking we can handle, but
I forget that one. Yeah, I forget that one.
we still flocked him, but we embraced
That one,
him.
I picking it. They don't know good things. I picking.
So that's okay. Oh, wow. It's just amazing having you here. So once again, you're watching the Success Stories of Black, Brown, and White People series. And we're here to bring you successful men and women from around the world to inspire us all. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, to hit the like button, to comment, and to share the video as we continue on with our conversation. So I don't even know which way to put your name. I think I sent you a DM and I said Uncle GGG. I know you're probably like, hey, the people, which one? One minute,
uncle is okay. In Liberian culture, we say uncle to everybody now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think my comfort zone is Uncle GGG. I think that we put it up that's fine. So what sets you apart from other people?
Well, for this craft that I'm famous for, I'm the only white guy doing it. Period. There's no other. Period. And that's unique. That's unique, and that just sets me apart. I know a couple of white guys that are equally good, but they don't bring the whole package. They can do maybe a couple sentences, but the consistency to keep up, to keep working, to be disciplined, to build your fan base, all these years of work that I put into it, they didn't do it. And so now I'm the number one, the only white Liberian comedian. And that's what sets me apart. And I'm very proud of that.
Mm-hmm. You've come a long way in your work.
That's small work, that's small hustle we did. You know how many Saturdays I didn't spend time with my children to play with them on the playground? I said, no, I got to make people laugh. You're leaving.
Wow, and it's paying off. Look at your views.
Paying off, yeah.
You're traveling around the world. So your work is showing for itself,
And that, my people, is the most satisfying feeling in the world. When after years of hustle, people recognize your talent and they recognize your work. I can tell you it is the most, you have the best sleep ever. You wake up in the morning and say, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about sleep, I'm just gonna give us a few minutes to put up your video about the one you were lying on the bed with your beautiful wife.
July 25th.
So let's just put it up and see it over there.
Okay, go ahead.
You can take a few minutes if you want to get a drink or you
All
just
right.
play.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So this is the success stories of Black, Brown, or White people series. We are here and for you guys to inspire you guys, to encourage you guys, and to motivate you guys. This is the reason why we're doing this the last Saturday of every month. This is to help to keep us on track. No man is an island. I'm just doing this to create inspiration. Once you've heard the stories of many successful men and women and about their struggles, their trials, and how they prevailed, this creates a sense of urgency in leading you to go ahead and follow your dreams and to follow your visions. So stay tuned with us, and we're glad to showcase these amazing men and women every Saturday, the last Saturday of every month. So, Uncle G.
Yo.
What is the best career advice you've received?
Oh, that's a tough one. Because I have different careers. You know, it's not just, and maybe we can start with that one. You know, everybody expects you as an 18-year-old finishing with high school to know your life path, you know, to choose your career with 19, you know, study that university career and then go work your whole life in that job. Forget it. Look, so find your dream. You will make mistakes. You will try different things. You know, don't get married too young. Find yourself. And then once you found your passion and what you like doing, you know, what makes you happy, try to go into that, you know. I never thought that I would make money with comedy. I never thought. And now it's just exploding. And people are saying you should leave your job and become a full-time comedian. And I'm like, what? You know, and so my career advice would be variable. Don't just stick to one job your whole life. Always be open. God and destiny have ways of sometimes challenging you and then bringing something new into your life.
You've heard him.
That might be a bigger blessing than you ever thought possible.
That's amazing. You've heard him. Keep an open mind when it comes to your career or your businesses and talents, and God may just put you into different scenarios to help you to reach your final destination.
I got one big one. This one is very powerful because we've been dropping some thick lecture. This one is good. Listen carefully, my children. Behind your greatest fear lies your greatest potential.
Behind your greatest fear lies your greatest potential.
Let me give you two examples. My first example is when I lost my brother in the war, Ben. My biggest fear was that he was dead. That was my biggest fear. When I started searching for him, when I thought, oh my God, my fault. I should have saved him. That was my biggest fear. And I started searching for that boy. I put money behind the search. I started doing everything. And you know what happened? A happy ending came, and a best-selling book in 3 languages came out of that biggest fear and facing it. Second example, I went to Houston a couple months ago. I had a show after 3 years of COVID break. No shows were possible. I did not have any performance experience anymore. 3 years, 2019, 18, I was in Liberia the last time performing in the Royal Grand Hotel. That was my last show. So I had, for 2.5 years, I had not touched a stage. I was scared shitless. When I went to Houston, they said, oh, don't worry, man. I want a small selfie time and drink some beers with the fans. And then on Friday, don't worry. It's just fun and games. On Saturday, you will do big show. Well, on Friday, just come for a small selfie time. People want to hang out with you. I said, okay. So I went sightseeing and I looked at Houston the whole day in the heat. I was dead beat by the time I came to that show at 9 o'clock. I thought I would just drink my little gana and go to sleep. I came to that party. 300 people were sitting there bored. the host came to me. He said, my brother, you're next. I said, my man, what are you talking? He said, well, I need 1 hour comedy from you. And you comedian? I said, my brother. For 3 years, and I've been on stage saying, you pushing me inside like this. I said, and then he said, in 10 seconds, I'm going to the microphone now. Wow. I said, I saw my whole life passing, flashing by. And I just said to God, I said, God, you really want to test me today? Eh? My biggest fear is not being able to make the people laugh today. I'm not prepared. Yeah. And the guy pushes the microphone in my nose and says, this is GGG. He's going to make you laugh now. I said, my man, look at the kind of introduction you're giving me. You're making me look fishy, man. And then I just let go. And I trusted the process. And all the jokes just started coming to me. I didn't even have to think. It just came. And behind the biggest fear was a standing ovation. And that sparked the Philly tour. And that sparked New York, and that sparked, and you know, I faced the fear. I could have walked out and said, listen, this was not part of the deal. Yeah. You know, because he said that Saturday, and I gave him a free show on Friday. And I faced the fear. So face your fear. You will learn and you will come out stronger.
Thank you so much for that lecture and that gem. That's amazing. You're just commendable, and I hope you're taking notes. You got your pen, your copybook, your notebooks.
I'm not a teacher for nothing.
He gets paid to drop gems, you know, but we're getting it here just by listening and, you know, tuning in. So make sure you take notes and
thank you.
Listen to his words. So what is one last advice you have for our viewers watching or those listening?
Don't expect happiness from outside. You have to bring your own happiness to the table. Don't blame the world for everything that's happening. Take responsibility for your success. Take responsibility for your own happiness. Take care of your mental health. Don't get addicted to social media. That's a big one for the young generation. Be very careful with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all these things. It will just make you waste hours of your day. Yeah. I have to be very disciplined myself because that's where my business is. And I can lose myself too. And then my family reminds me. So please, please, please be very careful of your mental health. Keep your inner circle small and tight. And this is something I learned in the Hamptons with those millionaires. I looked at them and they only had 10 people there. And it was just family. They didn't have any fake friends sitting there sharing their millions. It was just their own family. And they protected that circle tightly. And they said, do you know how blessed you are that you are allowed to enter this circle? We trust you. And I said, wow. So, you know, like Fly and Spider, let me give you guys a little story to illustrate that point. Story. Okay, so Fly were looking around, he was just flying around, and he saw his friend, Mr. Spider. Mr. Spider was wearing coat suit, and Mr. Spider was preparing his web, and we're looking just like sweet hammock, you know, and Spider was making the spider web to be fine. And Mr. Spider was dressing up just like he come and go out. He put a coat suit on. So Mr. Fly came to Mr. Spider and said, Mr. Spider, you're looking fine today. What happened? He said, yeah, I'm expecting guests for lunch. He said, oh, wow. Yeah. Can I lay down in your hammock and rest small? Mr. Spider said, you are welcome, my best friend. You are welcome. Lay down, make yourself comfortable. So soon as Mr. Fly laid down in that spider web, he stick inside. Mr. Spider started going for a fork and knife and spoon. So Mr. Fly said, my brother, a little bit, please try to help me. He said, no, because you are my lunch, my friend. So you see, fake friends?
Yeah.
Fake friends will eat you. They will eat out of you. So be very careful who you allow at your dinner table. Keep your inner circle small. That's one of my big advice, because when you have fake friends, you will lose a lot of energy and money. Mm-hmm. So stay away from drama. Just stay away from drama. Have your partner, have your family, if you have some. Otherwise, have your inner circle. And only that people in that inner circle who stand behind you unconditionally. I had the case just now that one of my best friends, when he saw my success in the comedy tour last week, when I came back, he said, "My man, you bluffing too much. You bluffing too much." Yeah. I success thing. You post on Instagram, you say, "I thank God for making me to reach that level." All that thing, you gotta stop it, man. You normal man like me, man. Stop it, man. I said, my brother. The whole 6 years I've been working to reach that stage, you can't be jubilating with me. You can't be behind me, pushing me up. Instead, you're trying to pull me down.
Right.
My brother, if you want to stay my friend, you will change that behavior. Otherwise, the door is waiting for you. Then, man, check. 1 week later, he apologized. He said, "You are right. Thank you."
Yeah.
So protect yourself. Protect your energy.
That is it. You've heard it from the amazing, the creative, intelligent, comedian.
Good looking.
Oh, I forgot that. Yes, my uncle GGG, our GGG is good looking. You heard it. I'm sure you see it, right? He reminded me not to leave that part out. Good looking, right? International comedian from Germany, adopted by Liberia. So, for me, I'm in Canada. You've been to the US. We honestly, we jealous. We jealous.
I would come. Y'all send for me.
Yeah,
Listen. In October, I plan to hit Minnesota, Iowa, and North Dakota. In December, I'm hitting Liberia, big show. In April, I'm hitting Atlanta, North Carolina. And in summer, I'm going on a world comedy tour. So I will come to Australia. I will come to Canada at some point. We're coming.
Okay, we'll be waiting for you here. It's been so great speaking with you, Uncle GGG. You've heard him. Be yourself. Keep your circle small. Protect your energy. Don't get caught up by the hype on social media. Stay connected to the right source. Of course, our amazing Jehovah God. And it's just been amazing speaking with you and conversing with you. Thank you so much for your time. And I just want to say, before you leave, is there anything you want to share with us about any business? You've just told us about your tours. Is there anything you want to share about your businesses, or do you feel like you've covered everything?
Listen, if you want me, I can come to your city. Please contact me. I can MC weddings. I can do storytelling nights. I can do stand-up comedy. And if you want a copy of the books, please write me on Giant German Gina on Facebook, or contact Blossom and she can get you connected. I got Ancient Animal Liberian Stories, and I got the Blood Brother book. 2 books about Liberian heritage. You can get them here. Thank you for having me. And one love, laugh and live.
Yes. Laugh and live. We want no frowning here. No negative.
No, y'all don't tie your face, man.
No negative energy, right? No negativity. Exactly. So once again, you're watching the Success Stories of Black, Brown, and White People series. Don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms and follow our GGG on all his social media platforms. We'll tag it at the bottom of the video. And stay tuned every Saturday, the last Saturday of every month, to stay connected, to stay motivated, inspired, because this is why we are here as humans, to support one another, encourage one another. We're here to learn new things, not just once a month though. We're here to learn new things every day. We should be upgrading ourselves every single day. So stay tuned and see you guys soon. If you do want to be traveling around the world like Mr. GGG, inspiring people, making people laugh, living out your dreams, keep listening to the show and keep following us on social media. Thank you so much, and we will connect. Take care.